Good morning, colleagues, and welcome to the second installment of the Legal Update with me, Esdot Pillai. In this episode, we are going to be talking about a very critical exercise within compliance management, and that is the cost of compliance. More accurately, the methodology for calculating the cost of compliance. Understanding the exercise or understanding the cost of compliance is of utmost importance to you, the compliance officer, and the decision maker, as it allows you to make calls on the effectiveness and efficiency of compliance activities both on an operational and financial level. A widely used approach is to use a standard cost model of 2004, which has the parameters and metrics required to provide an effective and efficient report on the cost of compliance. So without further ado, let's take a look at how this type of model can be applied within our organization. For ease of reference, a legal universe is made up of an organization's compliance instruments, such as your legislation, policy, directives, and regulations. These compliance instruments are made up of compliance obligations and requirements, all of which contain compliance activities. A simple summary description of the cost model is the sum of the cost of compliance activities for each compliance instrument, thus giving you the total cost of compliance for that particular instrument. Compliance activity costs are made up of direct financial costs, administrative costs, and substantive costs. Direct financial costs. These are the charges prescribed in regulation that are payable to the government, such as administrative charges, licensing, permits, registration, accreditation and approval fees, levies, and mandatory insurance. Administrative costs. Administrative costs are incurred by an organization to demonstrate compliance with the regulation. Examples of administration costs are the cost of making, keeping, and providing records, the cost of notifying the government of certain activities, the cost of conducting tests, the cost of making an application, and the costs associated with financial costs, such as the time it takes or the method in which it takes to provide for government taxes, fees, charges, or levies. Administrative costs also include the time taken to demonstrate compliance with the regulation, as well as the associated traveling costs, for instance, traveling to a particular location to conduct an inspection, or to receive training or give training. Substantive compliance costs. These are costs incurred to deliver the regulated outcome being sought. Examples of substantive compliance costs are the cost for providing training to employees to meet regulatory requirements, the cost of purchasing and maintaining plant and equipment, the cost of providing information for third parties such as providing financial statements to consumers, the cost of operation, the cost of professional services needed to meet regulatory requirements. The compliance costing exercise can be as follows. First, we define and categorize the compliance activities that impose the compliance costs. This requires working through the regulations and acts and identifying each activity that imposes a compliance cost as either a direct financial cost, administrative cost, or substantive compliance cost. We quantify each of the identified compliance costs. We calculate the direct financial costs, administrative costs, and substantive costs in each identified activity. We consolidate these costs for each compliance instrument on a spreadsheet for reporting purposes. So in conclusion, understanding the cost of compliance is an exercise and an asset to any compliance officer, as it allows his organization to not only be compliant, but be compliant on an effective, competitive level. So I would recommend that you take this information and you apply it to your organizations and write it into your compliance manual. Thank you for your attention, colleagues. Please like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, thank you.